Howard University's Randall Brumant came back for an extra year as a graduate student, and while he didn't win a championship, he does make history. Not only was he the winner or one of the members of the team that won the first HBCU Classic during All-Star Weekend with the Bison, he is now one of the members of the inaugural HBCU Basketball All-Star Game. So it's been a star-studded senior year for you. I mean, you went to Jersey, played in the Michael B. Jordan Classic. Describe to me what it's been like playing HBCU basketball, making all kinds of history this year.
Yeah, so I mean, as you said, it's my first year ever playing at HBCU. I did my undergraduate at Columbia. We never played any HBCUs, and so this is like my first real taste of what the culture is like, and it didn't let me down at all. From the beginning of the season when we had the Burr packed out for Bison Madness and all the students came and it was just great energy all around, to the unfortunate end to our season a little earlier than we thought it would be, but all the way up until like that whole time, it was just great energy, great crowds, a whole lot of support. And like you said, we were on some big time stages this year, a lot of them for the first time ever. Like you said, the Michael B. Jordan Classic in Newark, that was crazy. That was our first one of the year. And it was just a whole lot of people. And we were just like, wow, it's like stars and stuff, like sitting on like the sidelines and stuff. And you're just like, whoa, like in warm-ups. And then we had the NBA HBCU Classic. And that was really crazy because you're really seeing like people who you see on TV all the time. You're seeing just like NBA. There was Chris Middleton just like right by our bench. We just, every time I go to check in the game or run down the court, he's just right there. I'm like, damn, like he's really just really courtside. Like Spike Lee is courtside. Like it's really crazy. Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad that HBCUs are starting to get a little bit more shine in the national spotlight.
How'd you learn about Howard? Was it ever on your radar? Maybe not as a basketball school, but just as a, institution of higher learning that you may have considered to go to after high school?
Yeah, so I've always known about Howard, just from just being a great academic HBCU. Always like had friends growing up, or like when I was doing my undergraduate, friends who would come to Howard for homecoming or say like that, and like, oh, you should come. It's always a great time. I never really had the opportunity because I was always playing or doing something with basketball. But actually the head coach at Howard, Kenny Blakeney, he was an assistant coach at Columbia my sophomore year. And we formed a great relationship. And when I was looking to go to grad school and move on, he was one of the first people who called me, and it was pretty much set from there because I had a great relationship with him. Like coming to Howard, like I feel like it would be a great experience, and he was showing me we could be a really good squad. So it was a pretty easy decision.
I know that the philosophy over at Howard is much like that in the Ivy League. It is about the grades. It is about the GPA, or you don't play. I mean, so there's certain models there. Do you notice any similarities? Because the thing that always impressed me about the Ivy League, and few people, if any, know this, but I did some reporting on it back in the day for the Shadow League, where the Ivy League is very progressive in its coaching hires. There are a lot of Black coaches in the Ivy League. This wasn't too shocking for you, was it?
No. Just, I mean, initially when I was getting recruited, because I always thought of like Ivy Leagues like having, just being a predominantly like white kind of thing. But then once I got there and like once I was being recruited and like seeing some of the people who like came in my recruiting class and like seeing some of the other recruiting classes that other Ivies had, it was like, man, there are like a lot of people of color like in these. And I see like Tommy Amaker, I see Coach Jones over at Yale, like I see that and I'm like, wow, like this is pretty progressive. So like coming to my freshman year, like I saw that and I was a little shocked by it, but yeah, it's definitely trending that way. Definitely trending that way.
Randall Brumant from Howard University heading to the first HBCU All-Star Game, April 3rd, New Orleans, Louisiana, CBS National Television. But again, you're used to national TV right now. You played on ESPN, and I believe it was Fox during the All-Star Game. That was TNT, because that was coming off the Howard game against Notre Dame, which was at home, which was bananas. And then you came right back from Cleveland. I think you were on the air for Howard game under the spotlight. Did you play more on national TV while at Columbia or while at Howard this year?
I may be wrong. I'm gonna have to check, but I think I played more on national TV this year than I did all my years at Columbia.
That is absolutely crazy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been around HBCU sports, graduate of Morgan State, and 30 years, I never thought I would see that. As you watch the thing unfold, how big can HBCU sports? I mean, you now have the opportunity to be somewhat of an ambassador. You played in the Ivy League, you played at Howard, HBCU Ivy League. What's the upside, in your opinion, having gone through both scenarios, if you will, during your student athlete college experience?
I think it's through the roof, honestly. I just think HBCUs haven't really gotten that spotlight that they deserve. So just seeing them more in the national spotlight, seeing big names like Howard like playing and all these games, like it like really like grabs people's attention. It's like, yeah, I'll play at Howard. They had a good year. Like, yeah, I'll do that. And I know, like, from personal experience, I've gotten a lot of questions from Ivy League people who are looking to transfer to an HBCU. A lot looking to transfer to Howard. And they're asking me all these questions. Like, oh, what's the experience like? All this stuff. Because there's something about an HBCU that you can't get anywhere else. And that's the people and just the experience, just like being in that kind of community with people who just look like you. And you can't replicate that in an Ivy League. You can't replicate that anywhere else. So just having that up top, like combined with having a good basketball program, like I think you can get big time recruits. I think you can get like big time teams. I
call it a cultural awakening. When you hear a phrase like that, did you find yourself, when you stepped onto the yard at Howard and began your walk through this grad year, that it was more of an experience away from basketball that will shape and mold you as you go into something other than sports when your career is done?
Yeah, definitely. It was just like a feeling of just comfort. Like I can truly just be everything that I want to be and like truly be myself. Like I go into dining halls and they're playing Gunna and Future, and I'm like, wow, like if I was eating at Columbia, like I never would have heard this. Like people are socializing at the yard. Like it's just people like who look like you, and they just have like similar tastes and similar experiences, and like you don't have to suppress any of your blackness here, as you would in like other spaces. You can like really just like let loose and like be yourself, like meet new people, try new things. You don't have that like kind of like stigma around you.
Let's talk about your homecoming experience then. That had to be a little bit different for you, huh?
Yeah. I
mean, you're in New York at Columbia, so I mean, the world is your oyster socially, but I got to tip my hat. Howard's homecoming is something different. I don't even really look at it like a traditional homecoming. It's more like there's a football event that is surrounded by a great big block party during the day.
Yeah.
And it's a weekend that's off the chart.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was, I just remember like the days like leading up to it, you just started seeing like more and more people just on campus. And I'm like, wow, it might be crazy. Like the next couple of days, you're seeing like alumni, you see all the people in D9 like walking together. Like you're just seeing like all these different types of people, and you're like, wow, like it really shows like how much people love Howard. Like all the alumni and stuff, because they're like having a great time coming back. And then the actual like days of homecoming, it was great. It was great. And like, I mean, some of my friends were saying like, oh, like since COVID, like this one wasn't really the same. It's been crazier than this. I'm like, it was crazier than this. Like this one was pretty wild. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, it was a great time.
Yeah, for all intents and purposes, it was a bit of an off or down season. So I guess as an alum, you're going to have to come back and really check it out.
Oh yeah,
Randall
for sure.
Brumant is joining us here as we continue on the program. Howard University, along with Kyle Foster, he will be representing in New Orleans on April 3rd for the first HBCU All-Star basketball game. And to have an opportunity, you guys going to get a scouting combine of some sort. You're going to be able to take part in other workshops. Even if it doesn't work out with basketball, what do you hope to get out of this weekend's experience?
Just an opportunity to showcase HBCU basketball. I feel like it's going to be a fun opportunity to kind of play with some of the people that I've been playing against all year. I know I'm gonna be teamed up with Kyle, obviously, but some other people that we competed against this year, and just chop it up, make some connections, really pick their brain about like how they felt about the season, like what their plans are going to be, but like a great opportunity to kind of showcase HBCU basketball and get closer with one another.
Now, you're familiar from being up on the East Coast, up in that I-95, New Jersey, New York area, with a school like St. Peter's.
Mm-hmm.
I've been telling people all week as we record here, following their run in the Elite Eight, that there's not that much separating Howard or even a Norfolk State, a back-to-back two-time conference champion in your league, from being where St. Peter's it was. What do you think are some of the steps that like a Howard has to make in order to make that run? Because you got everything, great city, basketball tradition, progressive coach, coached by a guy that, might be the greatest of all time. And that just comes down by osmosis to you guys. So how far can Howard go ultimately, in your opinion?
I really think the sky's the limit. This is really Coach Blakeney's first year, like after COVID. He came here, he had people that he didn't recruit. So he's really like bringing in like a whole new wave. Like he's ushering like a whole different culture. And this was his first full season. And like we surpassed expectations. I think we did a good year. Like, as I said, like it didn't end the way we wanted it to end, but just from being around, like we're looking like Howard's gonna have a squad next year, so it would be a tough team to beat next year. So it's looking like the sky's the limit. You got some great players in here already, some great young players that'll just develop and get even better. So yeah.
Well, what's the future hold for you? I mean, I know everybody has the ultimate dream of going to the league, but I'm sure when you began your academic journey at Columbia, there was a professional focus that was beyond the basketball floor. So what do you hope to accomplish professionally in the game of life?
Okay, I'm trying to finish my master's in econ at the moment, and I have one more semester after this. So what I was hoping to do was finish and graduate this December with my master's in econ and go see if I can play overseas, because I know when my legs are young, my legs are fresh, that'll be the best time. So, and I know if I leave right now, I won't come back and get my degree. So I'm gonna just, finish it out, get it, and then go see if I can play. So in the meantime, I'll just be working out. I'm still going to be around the team in like some kind of capacity. Just going to be working out and focusing on my grades, and then hopefully take my talents overseas in the future.
And big picture, when you look at your student athlete experience going from Ivy League to HBCU, how would you sum that whole walk up?
It's definitely a grind. I had a lot of fun, made them like some of the best memories I ever had, met some of the best people, but it's definitely a grind. I just remember some days, like, because we had 6 a.m. practice. I remember some days, especially like, it's Halloween. I'm trying to go to bed and I just hear everybody outside having a great time. You're like, man, like, I wish I could really be out there. But then you get up that next day and you're working and then it pays off in the end. And you're like, wow, like, I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I had that discipline. I'm glad like I went through that, because it was all worth it in the end. So that's what I would say about my student athlete experience in general. It's a grind, but it's definitely worth it.
Well, we're proud of you, my friend. Best of luck to you both, not only this weekend at the HBCU All-Star Basketball Game in New Orleans. And, try not to go down there and get on that Zion Williamson meal plan, because we want to make sure that you got your legs and are healthy for your shot to make it to the big time, be it here or overseas.
Yes, sir. I'm going to try my best. They got some good food down there, though.
Hey, man, it's my favorite spot to eat in America, man. What it is you gotta almost go all water for the week leading up to it. And then when you get down there and just binge, you go to New Orleans. That's one of the joys of New Orleans is eating. It really is. So enjoy yourself, my friend. Again, Laurel and Hardy, congratulations and best of luck in the future.
Appreciate you.
Randall Brumant, our guest, as we continue rolling on the HBCU Sports Nation.